Naturopathic pearls. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some importance of having the knowledge of natural health as your foundation in life. It's been important to me, and it's important to all the people that I help, so I love to share this information. Oops, that's good. So again, I'm Dr. Jana Schmidt. I'm a naturopath, so this is a holistic doctor. I don't do any prescriptions at all, so only God's medicine for people to help heal, and also natural things that we can do that are super simple. And I'm going to teach you some of those really simple things. So just a little bit of background so you know the motivation behind what I say. Yes, I'm a naturopath, master herbalist. I was raised by my dad, who was an allopathic doctor, amazing emergency medicine doctor, and my mom, who was a botanist, wonderful, brilliant, full-on hippie. So that's kind of my background. So I feel like I got the best of both worlds. And I also saw what might not be great in both worlds too. So I was able to glean what's best in those and bring them together. Not to mention, Dr. Patch Adams was our communal living doctor for our hippie commune. And I learned so much from him. I still do. He's an amazing person. And my great-grandmother was a Native American Indian healing woman for her tribe. I know I don't look Indian, but I have that background too. So I feel like I got it at all angles. I feel like I was just completely steeped in wellness and health, especially the natural health and wellness. So these are a few of the topics. These are broad topics. I'm gonna dig a little deep into some of them. So I want to realign our view on wellness and illness. And look at it a little bit differently, not just, oh, I have the symptom, what do I do to take, what do I take to get rid of that symptom? Let's get to the root cause so it doesn't come back again and you heal yourself. And then I feel like true wellness, you start with a really strong foundation. Before you start advanced therapies, before you even start supplements, the essentials, the basics, nutrition, lifestyle, detox, you have to have that in place first for anything else to work. So I'm going to share some of those. It's really easy. I've often said, okay, we have to kind of turn back time and live more the way maybe people did 100 years ago to get back our health again and get further away from the chemicals and pesticides and things like that. But now we have all those things in our life, so we have to be aware of that, so it's a little bit different. And I'm going to give you the tools to implement some of these things. And these are just a few things. There are thousands of things you can do to help your health, but these are some of my favorites. So let's realign our view on illness. Questions to consider. Why do we get ill or hurt? Now, I'm just going to give you a few. There's many, but we live in a fallen world. Our world is not the way God intended it to be. There are problems, and so sometimes we get sick. Toxins from internal and external sources can cause us to be sick. Misuse of the body, going and trying to do something you know that your body probably can't do might result in a break, right? And I don't know if any of you have broken anything before, but I certainly have, acting silly and having a good time, but broke a bone. Emotional and mental stressors can also make the body ill. So how do our bodies heal? First of all, remarkably, our bodies are designed to heal. We are designed, or constantly healing right now, constantly healing from things that maybe we don't even know that's going on in our body. Always healing. Immune response activation, tissue repair and cell renewal, detoxification, and actually inflammation can be used to bring blood to an area. We just need to make sure it's not over-inflammation. So inflammation actually has its part in healing as well. So I want you to consider some of these things. These are natural lifestyle, health and wellness lifestyle to support the body's remarkable, innate, God-given ability to heal. Nutrition, water supplementation, gut and microbiome health, toxins, how to detox, and EMF exposure, exercise, sunshine, immune system, laughter, sleep, and grounding. And I know some of these, like laughter, sleep, and grounding, may sound a little hippie, but considering my background, I got to talk about these things, right? All right, nutrition. Nutrition is foundation. This is fuel for the body, and a diet in whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. These give us the ability to fight off the poisons and things that our bodies are constantly enduring. But the typical acid-forming, refined sugar, heavy meat consumption, artificial sweeteners, highly processed foods, coupled with inactivity, physical inactivity, induces oxidative stress in the body, and that accounts for the majority of degenerative diseases. So we want to focus on more of the healthy foods in our lives. I know it's easy to say, right? But if you focus on when you actually choose some of these healthy foods, the superfoods, the really nutrient-dense, clean, organic foods, a little goes a long way. And I gave you some examples. And actually, the more of these you eat, the more they taste and the better you feel. Try it, I promise you. And not everyone's different. Everyone may have a different need in their diet. But honestly, this is a real option for everyone. It's real food. We're God created. We should eat God created food, not man created food. Packed with high nutrients. Now, there are thousands of these, thousands. But bee pollen is my favorite. If anybody's ever heard me speak before, they have heard me talk about bee pollen. I'm not shy. It's amazing. Every vitamin and mineral known for human nutrition, it's incredible. Sprouts, microgreens, cooked mushrooms, not raw, avocados, spinach, berries, coconut, moringa, quinoa, the list goes on and on. There are so many good nutrient-dense superfoods we should be eating every day. Food is fuel, so we want to make sure we're fueling our bodies with what we need to thrive, not just survive. We're going to talk about gut health. So gut health, a really healthy microbiome is important for overall vitality. It's not just responsible for digesting your food. It's responsible for neurotransmitters. It has a lot to do with your mood. It has a lot to do with the nutrient absorption and how it gets to different parts of your body. It's really, really important that your gut is healthy. It is key to your immune system. It's directly correlated. And there are about 100 trillion microbes in the gut. And the majority of those are bacteria with 1,000 different species present. They help us get energy from our food. They help balance the good bacteria. They are responsible, like I said, for some of the neurotransmitters and vitamin absorption, metabolic function. The list goes on and on. So these are some things I wanted to share with you. There are some issues. If you don't have a healthy microbiome in your gut, cardiovascular disease could be an issue, fatigue, depression, malnourishment is another. And I wanted to mention, I'm going to mention this a couple of times, glyphosate, which is the main ingredient in Roundup, can totally destroy your intestines microbiome, the natural microbiome. So we need to avoid that at all costs. And cell phones. I don't have my cell phone with me, but I'll pretend this is a cell phone. If you put your cell phone right here, it is literally destroying your gut microbiome. If it's anywhere near your body, same with a laptop. So think of how often we just put our phones right here and look at it, or our laptops. It will destroy a healthy biome in your gut. So put it away from you. Distance is your friend in this case. And also including those nutrient-dense foods I talked about. That's going to help your gut, as well as pre- and probiotics from plant fiber. It's going to help with digestion, with immune system, and it will balance any over-inflammation. Intermittent fasting. Stay with me here. This is amazing. This is incredible. Has anyone done intermittent fasting? Oh, look at you guys. You're amazing. Okay, wonderful. And there's many ways to do intermittent fasting. It's basically just alternating between periods of eating and not eating. When you go to sleep at night, you're fasting. You break that fast with breakfast. So people choose to do this type of fast or other fasts for different reasons: weight loss, detox, spiritual enlightenment, improved health. It works for all of those things. Whether you're just doing it for one reason, you get those benefits. And it can really have a powerful effect on your mind and body. And most common, I think, with intermittent fasting is 16 hours of not eating with an 8-hour window of eating. And if you're interested in trying this, try just eating a little earlier dinner and a little later breakfast the next day. Even if it's just 30 minutes, you're going to have a great result from that. And this is one of the things that happens. Autophagy, which is induced by intermittent fasting. And autophagy is a cellular process that involves a breakdown and recycling of damaged, unnecessary cellular components. What does that mean? It's the cells that are kind of junk. They don't work anymore. You need to get rid of those and get cell renewal going. And intermittent fasting can do that. It plays a huge part in maintaining our health and wellness and that balance. And it's also neuroprotective as well. Be aware. Fad diets promise all kinds of things, quick results, and just be aware because they usually come with some harmful side effects that you don't want, that you have to live with. So be very, very careful with fad diets. So let's talk water. It's very simple, right? It seems simple, but it's become very complicated these days, water. It's crucial for digestion, elimination, hydration. We know that, hydrate, drink water. Getting oxygen and nutrients to the cell, protecting your brain. It helps you regulate your blood pressure and maintaining your overall body temperature. We're made of so much water. It's really important to drink water, but to drink filtered water. Our water is full of toxins. And I mentioned, how is our water treated? Why does that matter? Because that's where a lot of the toxins come in that water. So nearly all U.S. water treatment plants treat their water with aluminum filter. We know aluminum's not good for our bodies. And then they disinfect it with a chlorine gas, which produce carcinogenic byproducts, along with heavy metals, big pharma, glyphosate, there's that word again, Roundup, and dozens of other toxins. So over 80% of drinking water has multiple toxins, and I'm going to show you how you can find out if your tap water has toxins. I did a research study with several people a couple years ago, and we found that these five typical toxins in water literally become the blueprint for cancer, kidney, and liver toxicity. This is benzene, asbestos, heavy metal, azo dyes, and it completely disrupts your hormonal balance and neurological function. And this I found was really interesting too in that same study, 5-year study that was conducted with 1,000 people that were battling cancer. They'd been diagnosed with cancer of some sort. They found that when they tested, all 5 of these toxins were in their saliva, lymph, organs, and any tumors that they had. It was also in their drinking water. Amazing. So this is how you can find out what's in your water. EWG.org. It's a tap water database. It's very easy to use. Also consider not just the water you're drinking, but the water you're bathing in. If you're watering plants that you're actually going to eat, you want to make sure that's filtered as well. So I threw this slide together at the last minute, as you can tell. EWG.org. And I just looked up, what's the water here? What's the tap water here? And 16 contaminants exceed health guidelines. 4 of those 16 I just wrote down just to share. Atrazine, which is an agricultural herbicide, 2.3 times higher than health guidelines. Radium, 15 times higher than health guidelines. Chloroform, 38 times. Chloroform happens when chlorine and disinfectants are used together to purify the water in the water treatment plants. So they're pumping this out, thinking they're cleaning our water. Arsenic, 267 times exceeded the health guidelines. Arsenic in the water. And what are all these having in common? It says right there in this EWG.org, potential effect is cancer. When it's so easy to avoid these by filtering your water and really filtering your water, getting a really good system. So I'm going to move on. I could talk all day about water. The right supplement at the right time can be incredibly beneficial, but I do want to say not all supplements are created equal. So several years ago, I had this brilliant, amazing MD tell me, I'm not so sure that anyone ever needs supplements. Can you convince me otherwise? Well, I'm a naturopath. I like supplements, right? And I said, sure, I can do that. So you got 5 minutes, go. Oh, okay, pressure. Well, I'm going to give an example of vitamin D. So let's say, actually, I'm going to back up. One of the biggest reasons, I think, is because our food is not grown in soils that are completely nutrient dense. So the food may not have as much nutrients and vitamins and minerals as it should. So that's one reason I think supplementation can be important. But Let's give the example of vitamin D. Let's say young man, he works inside and he gets up before the sun and he gets to work and he works all day and rarely gets outside, sometimes on a lunch break, and then he comes home and it's getting dark. He has not gotten sunshine. You know what vitamin we get from sunshine? D, yes. So he maybe gets out on the weekends a little bit. He's going to be deficient in D. D is imperative for our immune system. Bone health, it's imperative for metabolization of cholesterol, which we need in every cell of our body and we need in our brain. He's going to be deficient. If I were that person, I would want to supplement with D. So I feel like supplement at the right time is beneficial, but just supplementing for supplementing's sake is not beneficial. It can actually really tax your liver. And the liver is really one of those organs that it detoxes all the time, and on average, Americans' liver only works at about 20% because it's so full of sludge. It's important to detox, which I'll talk more about in just a minute. So not all supplements are created equal. So you may look at a shelf full of vitamin C, and they're not all the same. Very few regulations, which is a problem, but also it can be a problem that it's not regulated, but also we don't want their hands in all of what we're doing with supplements. So it's really important to make sure if you're taking any supplementation, it's the right one for you. Sometimes you just don't need as much, but also it's free of contamination, no fillers, non-GMO. We don't want genetically modified anything in what we're putting in our body, organic. You want to know where they're getting it. Supply transparency, high potency, ethical harvesting and manufacturing, and you can ask them. If they can't tell you, then I wouldn't take it. You can call them. I've called numerous different manufacturing of nutritional supplements. And I say, hey, can I come visit? And if they say no, they go on my naughty list. If they say yes, I go with I'm interested. I want to see your certificate of analysis. Where are you getting this? Are you testing it for glyphosate? Are you testing it for these things? Sadly, there's not as many doing it right as we would hope. So transparency in your supplements. If you're taking supplements, you want to make sure you're taking something that's worth your time and you're not actually hurting your health. We'll move on to exercise. And this sounds a little cliche, right? Exercise, but it's really very important. Physical activity improves so much. Everything from cardiovascular health, it moves lymph. There's more lymph in your body than blood. There's so much lymph in your body, it needs to move. This is part of our detox process. Lymph is part of our immune system. It helps to reduce stress. It regulates hormones. It can also be a very important in increasing energy, digestion, circulation, sleep, focus, mood, feelings of well-being. Exercise is wonderful. And it doesn't have to be the same for everyone. If you just stretch every morning, that's exercise. You're getting your body moving. If you can do more, that's great. You can walk, you can swim. There's lots of wonderful activities that get you outside, and you can get your vitamin D at the same time. Detox. I've mentioned detox a couple times. Every day, our bodies are bombarded with toxins, internal and external. Very, very important that we detox. Here are just a few areas that I like to consider and share with everyone is detoxing your liver and your gallbladder. That congested liver needs to get cleaned. Sweating. It's amazing what you can detox through sweat. Parasites. Almost everyone deals with parasites at one time or another. It sounds gross, but it's true. Gut health. We talked about that. Heavy metals and toxic people. We've had our fill of toxic people, right? It hurts our health. So we want to make sure we're surrounding ourselves with positive people as well. And I mentioned the liver, only working at about 20%. The liver is vital. It's vital. It accumulates with waste and becomes stagnant. But when your liver is clean, it can filter out the waste and any oncoming bombarding of toxins in our day-to-day life. Near-infrared sauna is a way to detox. I live in Florida. Probably Texas is the same way. We literally live in a sauna, just get outside, right, and sweat. But for those people that may live in an area that they don't, have that ability to get outside and just feel the humidity, this is a great way. I actually have one of these even in Florida because between the heat and the light, it does something really miraculous. It increases the level and the rate at which you detox, even heavy metals. We've done some studies where we take the sweat from people that are detoxing and look at it, and you would not believe the things we find in there. Aluminum and cadmium and arsenic in their sweat coming out of their bodies. It's been really incredible to see how this helps improve healing. It helps with the mitochondria and cellular function and energy and sleep. I'm a big proponent of near-infrared saunas. Now, I mentioned parasites. I just want to talk just a little bit about parasites. Parasite is anything that is taking from us. So this could even, you could even consider like candida under this parasite heading. We encounter them, almost everybody encounters them through their lives at some point, and it's very important to detox. Now, our bodies are equipped with ways to detox parasites, but because quite often our immune systems are already weakened, then the parasites take hold. So that's why I wanted to mention parasites. Heavy metals is another. The saunas are amazing for this. And, synthetic chemicals were skyrocketing over the years, and heavy metals can cause damage at a cellular level and contribute to a variety of illnesses and disease. We're exposed to mercury, lead, cadmium, aluminum through air, water, we just learned, food, dental work, skin and eye contact, but there are easy ways like exercise, superfoods, sweating. These will help get these out of our bodies. And here's a couple of other ways too. So in heavy metals particularly, you can have a toxic metal test done. This can be done through hair, blood, or urine analysis. Distilled water will help get those metals out of your body. It's pretty amazing. It also detoxifies the pineal gland, which helps with focus, intuition, even spiritual connection. That pineal gland is very important. Chelation therapy can help, high vitamin C, herbs, and like I said before, those superfoods. Avoid toxic people. I'm right. Right? Seek positive people. It sounds like good, but there's actually people that have done studies on this. And the National Academy of Sciences Journal, they gave evidence avoiding toxic people and being upbeat yourself can help you avoid getting ill or having a long duration of being ill. Higher proportion of pro-inflammatory proteins are responsible for conditions like high blood pressure, risk of heart disease, depression, cancer. And these happen when people are in negative, stressful situations all the time. Now, I know some people can't get out of those situations, but there are things you can do, like I said before, that can help your body to handle those stressful situations. There is a strong link between positivity, faith, prayer, and good health. Thank God, right? Thank God. Because negative emotions can definitely weaken our immune response. And people who have a more positive view of life and situations can handle things better. They can handle stress better. If you have an upbeat, just view of life, then this oxidative stress can't hurt you as much. So that's another reason to be around positive people. Well, this is one of my favorites. It's so simple, laughter. It's responsible for numerous benefits in our bodies, physiological benefits, including boosting our immune, improving circulation. It activates endorphins in the body and makes you feel good, makes you happy. And it even emits some pain-relieving hormones that help people with pain. So I don't know if you've ever been prescribed to get some laughter, but this is one of the things that Dr. Patch Adams taught me. It's wonderful to reduce anxiety, depression, even stress. This is something else I learned about laughter. It's amazing to me. It has an effect on our natural killer T cells in their body. This is part of our immune system, and about 10% of our white blood cells are natural killer T cells. And there is a direct link, correlation. The more frequently people engage in laughter, the stronger those natural killer T cell activity becomes. That means you are literally helping your body heal every time you laugh. Sleep is very important. I know that's also very cliche, but it's so true. There are hundreds of things that sleep can benefit. I just put 3. It helps you detox your mind and your body. It helps to balance your circadian rhythm, which also goes on to help control hundreds of other functions. And that's your wake and sleep cycle, circadian rhythm. And it also, again, helps those killer T cells to migrate towards the lymph nodes. And then with exercise, you can get that lymph moving. So sleep is very important, and it's different for everybody. I think some people can get by on less sleep. Some people need a little bit more. But the hours in a row matter. So if you're waking up at night, you might want to find out why you're waking up at night and see if you can get hours in a row. I like to say 6+ hours in a row. All that immune function and detox can really, really sink in and benefit your body long term. And you probably feel it, right? When you get 6 or 7 hours in a row, you feel good, you feel better. I did mention EMF exposure. I speak about this. I'm a big proponent of reducing EMF exposure. It's everywhere. EMF is a form of radiation comprised of electric and or magnetic fields every day. Think of all the things that have Wi-Fi: laptops, iPads, smart appliances, satellites, cell phone towers. It's part of our modern life, and it seems convenient, but it comes with a price. So that constant bombardment of radiation can really take its toll on the body and make us very tired and weaken the body overall. It's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. And I won't go into too much of the science, but basically every cell has a little gate on it. It's called a voltage-gated calcium gate. So when you're exposed to onslaught of EMF activity, it floods that gate open wide, and then the cell is flooded with too much calcium, sometimes killing the cell, sometimes damaging the cell. Well, that can make a whole host of other issues, everything from sleeplessness to lack of focus to digestive issues. The list goes on and on. Anything when your body is being bombarded with something like this, and this is unnatural for us. This isn't the way we're supposed to be living. So I want you to be really aware of ways to reduce your exposure. And there are simple ways you can still live with these technologies without having them hurt you. And here are some of the things that have been reported with constant EMF exposure: everything from DNA damage, fatigue, cognitive dysfunction, infertility, cardiovascular illness. Weakened vision is actually one of the ones I hear the most. And I'm a natural fertility specialist, so this is one of the ones I really hone in on, to get those cell phones out of their pockets. There was a study done where it said 70% of the sperm count was killed when a man has a cell phone in his pocket. And so these young couples that should be getting pregnant, there's lots of things. That's just one. Get the cell phones out of the pockets for starters, and then we'll see how it goes. Right? Here's some other things you can do with the EMF exposure. There are lists and lists of things you can do, but instead of me telling you, I'm going to give you this resource. There's a documentary called Generation Zapped. Really good documentary. It's about schools, and then what can you do? Not just what's the problem, but where are the solutions? And then this book, The Non-Tinfoil Guide to EMFs by Nick Punolt. It is a great book. It's a heavy topic, and it's very sciencey, but he makes it so easy to read, and he even has a little bit of sense of humor in it too. So I highly recommend this book. It's incredible. And if for anybody that doesn't think that EMFs are an issue, I get them this book. And then I go, let's talk after you read this book. And then on my website, Jana's All Natural, I have 30 simple and effective suggestions to reduce EMF exposure. And you can just go through, and the ones you can implement into your life, the better it'll be. Grounding. Okay, here's the hippie in me coming out, right? All right, grounding. It sounds very, woo, but there's scientific facts behind grounding. The Earth literally can be measured, the energy can be measured coming off the Earth, 7.83 hertz. Every once in a while it might go up during an electrical storm, but for the most part, 7.83 hertz. And when we put our feet on the ground, we're in direct current with that energy. And our bodies heal, and every function of our body knows just what to do in direct current of 7.83 hertz. really cool. When we're not, like right now, I'm in alternating current right now, and that takes toll on its body. It makes us a little more tired, makes us a little more weak, and it takes its toll. So the longer I'm in alternating current, the more weakened state I'll be. I can't wait to get my feet back on the ground, thinking about it right now. And it's very simple. It just means get your feet on the ground, or water actually grounds you as well. We actually will absorb the negative ions and the hertz at the same time, which helps reduce and neutralize free radical activity and overinflammation. So we can't spend all of our time outside barefoot, even though I'd like to. There are other ways you can ground without being barefoot. If you're in an office, this is a really good way to do it, a mat under your feet. Now, the mat has a plug, and it goes, the 3 spaces on a plug. There's 2 where it actually plugs in, and then there's the extra third one. That's a ground. Any building that has electricity needs that ground for safety. And if you followed that ground all the way, it would literally go to the ground. So it's bringing in that 7.83 hertz and those negative ions right into your body with these incredible mats. There's sheets, there's pillowcases. If you've never slept grounded, it will change your life. It is amazing. It's deep, it's amazing. I have not heard anyone have anything other than remarkable things to say about sleeping grounded with these grounding sheets. And you can even put your computers on these mats too to ground them. So our God-given tools literally are everywhere. Prayer, sunshine, laughter, love, movement, words of encouragement, grounding, clean water, whole foods, herbs, detox, cleanse, and fasting. These are very simple, mostly free things that you can do to keep yourself well and healthy and bring that foundation. So if you do get sick and you do need therapies or you do need supplements of some sort, you're prepared, your body's ready, it has that great foundation. There's some resources if anybody needs to see where I love reading. And a little disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes, and that's me. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time.